Yeah. Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game, which is actually a 3v3. It's editing time. Hello and welcome to this Warno 3v3. Today we've got 4th Dutch, 1st UK, and 24th American going up against 27Y, Spooky 27Y, 35Y, Y35, 35Y. And 7th War Daddy, so I guess somebody who can't afford Northag, because there's really no reason to play 7th now that 9th is in the game. And yeah, we're on Stoneware. It should be a 3v3 map. It's great to finally... I've played it as a 2v2 quite successfully, but yeah, it's great to see it finally played as a 3v3. I keep getting 4v4s on this 4v4s on this map, right? So yeah, looking at the deployments, so first UK on the left, and then okay, so Kiwi here, first UK, has bought forward deployed CVs for his teammates. No, hang on, what? This is such a strange deployment. Oh no, I'm just wrong. 24th American is on the left. So he's taking Boris and Dmitry. And then Northern is taking Dmitry and Fedor, you would hope. I'm not seeing much Fedor action, a little bit there. And the CV, Munity Stuurtplaats. Basically, this means ammunition garbage dump. Some Dutch guy said it to me. I don't know if it's true. This is the word for garbage dump as opposed to like ammunition dump. It means ammunition garbage dump, which is pretty funny. But yeah, if you know what the actual word's supposed to be, maybe you could tell me, and then maybe I could get it fixed, right? But blimey. The powers that be don't want me laughing at the Dutch people. I mean, it's just such a beautiful language. Kiwi Burb taking the right. So first UK fighting in the forest, not so great. I mean, to be honest, he's not really put anything in the forest. Like, you always want at least one unit, try and get it to there. Or try and get it to there even better, and then you can make... Or just like a recon helo. Basically, you just don't want the enemy to come around here and hurt you. But yeah, he's going hard on Jot, and he's also put some guys up for Leonid, which I guess this tank he could send up here to fight for this, because I mean, usually people don't come down here. I think that one Warrior Milan... Well, okay, I suppose the Warrior Milan's covering this side, the tank's covering this side, but you could just have two Rover Milans, one here and one here, although you do need infantry for the forest. So yeah, one Warrior Milan and one Rover Milan, and then you know, then your tanks can go attack and stuff, but whatever. I mean, he might move the tank, it might not stay there. For Dmitry Fedor kind of play, we've got 4th Dutch here, not a fantastic division. I'll be honest, these guys have not drafted very well. None of them have long-range AA. Literally none of them have long-range AA, so they're going to find this quite difficult. They're going to get air spammed. Especially this Dutch player, he's going to get air bullied to hell. We'll talk more about it if there's a slow part in the game, but basically the Dutch suffer greatly right now. But who knows? I mean, who knows? They might put some fighters out. I don't mean who knows what's going to happen to the future of that division. Because I do know and I'm not allowed to tell you. Oh, 24th on the left. We'll see how it goes. I mean, sort of older Bradleys, you know. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's actually pretty decent, especially given that it's the same price as a BMP2. The reservist trait doesn't help it at all, but yeah, who cares? So yeah, we'll see. Switch into their opponent's deployment. I'm expecting to see, yeah, I was going to say, there should be two fobs here, and it's good to see two fobs. So the 27Y player's got the fob, which is good, because he can bring two grads at one vet, because he can get two cards of grads. And War Daddy can bring, can't remember if he can bring two RM70s at one vet. He could definitely bring at least two RM70s. Anyway, so putting the 35Y player in the middle doesn't make much sense. 35Y is more of a town fighting, close range, scrappy kind of division with some defensive long range options. But instead, they've put him in Dmitry Fedor, which, you know, you might think, well, there's a big town, yes, but there's also, between them is this nice open field, which he's going to struggle quite a bit in. Meanwhile, 27Y, which doesn't really get good infantry, has been put in the big forest infantry fight area. So these two should be swapped around, really. And yeah, 27Y could have quite a good time in the open. Although I suppose they would struggle a bit in this town, but basically if the 35Y player was taking all this, he could sort of help out in this bit. But really the 27Y player could do an alright job with just the BMP2s, right? Because you can maneuver them around in such a way that you would be, you know, shooting them without getting shot back, sort of thing. Like, looking down there, that's a pretty good sight line. Guy in this build will be able to hit you, I suppose. But and then 7th Panzer, which, I mean, yeah, the 35Y player could be here instead, actually, and then he could fight over Boris, and then 7th Panzer would be decent here too, and then you would have the Cubs of the 7th Panzer player in the middle of the map covering everybody because they're the only guys with long range AA, and they've put him on the far right side, which means that he's not going to be able to, he's definitely not going to be covering over here where the 27Y player is. So yeah, let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to desperately shill my channel in order to avoid getting a job once I finish the PhD. But hey, at least I'm not doing as bad as War Daddy here, who forgot to path most of his units. He's gone for quite an interesting strategy as 7th Panzer. I've not seen this for a very long time. Basically, you get T-55s as 7th Panzer Division. I mean, I suppose there are people who bring them. There's a guy called FZ, 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 who just does this in 1v1, but he brings Motshots and BMP1. I suppose that's this. I honestly think the Malyutka version's better. It's got more range on the ATGM. I think it's only got 16 pen. I can't remember. Basically, there are two types of Malyutka in the game. One of them's got 17 pen and one's got 16. I'm pretty sure it's only got 16 on the IFV one. But the point is that the range is further, and I believe the suppression's greater. And so the whole point about ATGMs these days is the suppression is absolutely insane on them. Like, it's like 245, 245. I suppose they're the same thing. Try and find some more for you, but generally they're very high. So and suppression regeneration rates are very low, and that makes tanks not very useful. Because even though you can tank the shot, you're still useless. You're still useless. I'm just going to turn the volume up a bit. It is a +6 for blue. But yeah, Warno's a bit weird in that when I'm out here, I literally can't see anything. I can't hear anything. But when I'm here, it's just deafeningly loud. Obviously, they've not started shooting yet, but try and find somebody who's doing some shooting. Just waiting for people to get into position. Looks like Spooky here loses that BMP2 in the transport. That's not fantastic. Does manage to get in the zone though, and Kiwi Burby's got to move these forwards. Like, there's not a lot here. If he just ran forwards with his stuff, he'd win. Big no-no bringing warriors without the Milans, right? It's only 5 points more for the Milan, and the Milan is incredibly useful, as we were just talking about with suppression. Over here, Y35 going in against Northern. Looks like half of Northern's forces are here though, on the right. War Daddy just fast-pathing his T-55s in here. War Daddy to Red Leader, I am listening. This is not very intelligent gameplay. As you can see, it's not going very well for him. We've been better off just buying some infantry for this town, because yeah, he's literally just fast-pathed everything in and lost it all, which is obviously not great. +6 for blue, because they've capped all this and capped this. So it looks like it's War Daddy against Ludie with Northern's help, whereas Northern here is just against Y35, and Kiwi's just against Spooky here. So Ludie, though, he's taken the advantage from that, you know. using Northern's help there, he's managed to take the middle zones, both of them. But Northern's lost his zone, which ain't fantastic. Sadly, he has just bought 2 artillery, so this is basically 2 minutes income. I know income's 260, but this is most of 2 minutes income. You can afford basically a supply truck or something. And when you're behind like this, you don't want to just switch into buying loads of arty. Not only will it kill your already very bad momentum, the fact that you just didn't bring any units in for 2 minutes, but also, you know, he's not really going to have that many targets for it, because once his guys all die, he's not actually going to be able to see people anymore. So this is really not great, and it looks like his teammates done the same thing, just buying an M109 there as well, and a Challenger which is just sat in the woods not doing anything, which isn't fantastic. Not great at all. So yeah, I mean, Red doing sort of the right thing here on this side anyway, not buying arty, just buying forward units. Whereas on the right, yeah, what can I say? This Ludie guy with Northern's help's done quite well. So what Northern and Kiwi need to do now, I mean, Kiwi really should have... He's not got any AA here, which isn't great. But he had a chance to take this, and he sort of blew it, right? We saw how much of a force advantage he had here, but now this helicopter's here. Well, it's leaving, and BMP-3s are showing up. What they need to do is sort this out, and then from sorting this out, you can get back in this zone. If you just charge down mid with a bunch of infantry, they're just going to get shot in the open. You're not going to achieve anything. Strike Eagle out on the right here. Looks like War Daddy's bought the next bunch of T-55s. And yeah, I don't know if they fixed the targeting on this or what. Because it used to be that if you right-clicked off it after it had dropped, it would just miss massively. Okay, buying F-16s and bombing empty buildings here. Like, there's no recon here. This is a really bad push. You'd be better off pushing this, because you see he's getting hit in the side because of this. And 35Y here is actually pushing this objective. And Kiwi Burb has also bought 2 artillery pieces. He's got a lot of units not doing anything. So he's in danger of losing this. Because look, he's bought this, right? And his opponent's bought a bunch of BMP 2s and 3s. Who's going to win the zone, right? These take like 10 minutes to pay for themselves, basically. And these pay for themselves after 2. Once they get to the front lines, they're paying for themselves. So not fantastic. Not fantastic at all. I don't understand why I can hear the radio sounds in the background. It's kind of annoying, but I don't know how loud or quiet it is for you guys. So yeah, I mean, this is going about as well as you might expect, just unloading a bunch of guys in the open. You'd be much better off sorting this out. And then from sorting this out, then you can move undercover through these trees, and you can go like tree line to tree line to tree line. It's much easier to do. You know, you sort of solve the ATGM problem by not having massive long sight lines all the time. F-16A going for the KA-50. It's got 2 sets of, well, you just have to believe me. It's got 2 sets of sidewinders, so it's pretty good. And Kiwi Burb, unsurprisingly, has been pushed out here because he just spent a bunch of income on 1, a tank which is in the forest not doing anything, and 2, some howitzers which aren't doing anything. Like, at least these are firing, but he doesn't have recon, so it's not corrected shot, and this is just pretty poor gameplay here from Blue. Red's basically doing the right thing, right? They've pushed this, then they've pushed this, or they push this, they push this, then they push this. Eventually, I'd like to see them push this, right? Because as Red, as Y35 here, once you've sorted this out, then you're in a pretty good position to sort of jump to this tree line, and then you can cut across here. Looks like War Daddy's T-55s are getting in there, though. Although Ludie's actually managed to get into the next zone here. 3 Shilkers being sent forwards there. Bit of a weird one. But yeah, the turns have tabled. Red's in the lead now. Not sure about these Shilkers at all. I mean, what's the plan here? Well, they are decent against infantry. I'd actually like to see this. They're really bad at their intended role, which is killing helicopters and planes. But as you can see... oh no, losing the Spetsnaz in the transport there. That must have been a Y-35 unit, because War Daddy doesn't get a Spetsnaz. As you can see, they're pretty effective against infantry. But they're not very good at doing what they're supposed to do. I don't know. Weird. So, yeah, over here, War Daddy's got in. He's actually bought some infantry this time, which is great. Needs some supply. Looks like his teammates contributing some there. Just more planes here. So he gets the Spetsnaz. I mean, I'd be surprised if he didn't die. I guess there's not a lot of AA here. Well, there's a Tunguska there. Looks like that missed. And so Blue's in a real pickle here, because not only have they lost this and this, which wouldn't actually matter as long as this Ludie guy who's carrying hard has got all this sorted. I think he just lost a CV there. Shilkas versus infantry, actually, I mean, look at that. It's actually pretty good. It suppresses them really fast. The way they fire is a bit weird. It's not like a constant stream of bullets. I much more prefer the Wargame Red Dragon thing, where it just goes bzzz and it looks cooler. It's not a big deal, though. Zero Vet T-72s. Going the way of the Dodo there. So there's a hill here, and it seems to be messing with the interactions quite a bit, because you're here and you're fine, and you go there and you're not so fine. But yeah, I mean, look, he's doing the same thing again. He's just running a bunch of infantry into the open. Right into these waiting guns with proper flanking fire here on both sides, although this is out of ammo. This is really dumb. He should be instead attacking into here, right? And here as well, so you can outflank this position. Chieftain's going first there, not fantastic. And yeah, like 6 Gazelle rockets here would be really useful. Just burst those down, get back. But yeah, it looks like that's not happening there. More planes. I mean, is there more AA than there was last time? Tors are terrible. I really don't like them. 27Y, I don't really have a choice. What we can do is get a fighter up and just shift click with the fighter back here. Left, right, left, right, left, right, and it will just stay up. But yeah, just pushing this is really daft. I mean, I understand, like, he's trying to smoke his way in, but there's too many targets for him to smoke. It's not really going to work. He needs to take this back. Because otherwise you're just walking into an enemy semicircle of fire. He shoots you from every direction. I'm surprised neither player's gone for this. This is a very important thing. If red gets this, blue definitely can't do this anymore. But this is just generally just not a very intelligent strategy. Looks like they finally... So, you see, now that he's taken his zone, right, this spooky guy has bought the artillery. And he's using that to help out his teammate, War Daddy. So they're coming to save War Daddy here as he bats his T-55s around. I honestly can't stand playing team games for this reason. If you want to win, it's just so frustrating to get somebody who does something like this. Please try to win. No. But that's why 1v1's there, you know. So that Leopard 2A4 is getting hit from ATGMs from every side, right? It's just very, very stupid to be attacking like this. It's just nonsensical. You wanna set up here and attack into here. Help you make Kiwi Burb, sweep this zone, then you can move up to here, right? And basically the whole point is that you constantly want to have a semicircle on your enemy, and you don't want your enemy to have a semicircle on you. It's just flanking fire is useful. Obviously for stuff like infantry it doesn't matter, but for every vehicle in the game, it's like almost every vehicle in the game has less rear, and well, obviously the ones with 1 tend to have 1 everywhere, but generally front armor is the strongest, right? And side armor is a lot weaker, and rear armor is the weakest. And so you always want to be flanking. So you get those enemy vehicles, and also it just means that your enemy can't escape the bullets. But yeah, the T-55 swung. I mean, this Abrams got to get back, really. Yeah, at that range, the T-55s are going to win. this hill is actually giving them a bit of an advantage, because yeah, max range, obviously the Abrams going to win because the T-55 can't shoot, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of 24th. I think it's kind of garbage. I don't understand why people like it. I think its tanks are too expensive, like the Meep, a little bit too expensive, and the like the National Guard Abrams is literally a joke. It's like a joke unit. So it's a very, very depressing unit, the National Guard Abrams. So so yeah, okay, so now that he's lost this, oh, he's just going to try the same thing again. Okay. Oh, at least he sent it. No, he's actually bypassing this whole objective so that he can run in here and get shot. I mean, it's just... There's not a lot of team play here. I don't know if these two are friends or what. They both bought their paladins at the same time. But yeah, okay, so over here, Spooky's trying to push forwards, I guess, but looks like Kiwi's actually going for Ivan. He's not brought any AA, though. He's got 2 rapiers, but he's put them back here on his arty, which is a bit weird. So I'm not so sure about that. And yeah, I mean, this is a suitable force, to be honest. He's not got any recon, though. Could use one of these Zibbies, perhaps. But yeah, warriors without the Milans is just pointless. The Milan is 5 points more, and it adds so much strength to the unit. Here we go, the next suicidal attack at the front. Proper World War I tactics here. Although the Dutch weren't in World War I, they just sort of remained neutral. They tried that in World War II, it didn't go so well for them. So, yeah, Seed gets a cub there. Grad's out again. What's the target? What's the target? The target is... It's being split, which you don't really want to do. You want them both on one thing, because it won't kill this, and there's nobody there, but there were. Anyway, some not unloading properly things going on here. A lot of this is to do with, like, so the 27Y player is attacking here, and he's attacking here, and I'm pretty sure I saw him with some units over here. No, that's the 35Y player. So yeah, if you spread yourself out, I mean, obviously you've got to help your teammates, but usually it's possible to help your teammates. I mean, sometimes you just got to help your teammates, right? But oh, okay, so this is 27 as well. So he's being attacked here, he's attacking here, and he's attacking here. So he's making some mistakes. Yeah, sometimes you got to help your teammates. I like Kiwi using the tornadoes for cover because he knows he's not got the AA. So that's pretty smart. But basically, this push has failed. Just lack of recon. The warrior's dead. Pretty sure he lost some arm rifles and a warrior there or something. And then, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can strafe the Conkers. That's always a good idea. Interesting micro. I mean, yeah, the planes don't slow down in this game. There we go, we got him. Okay, so now we can turn around and get these MiG-20. I'm not so sure why these have been sent out, really. You know that the tornado is there because it just killed your plane. Tornado, it gets a lot of missiles. That's about all it's got going for it, really. And... oh, he still had 1 missile left there. He evac'd it. That's a shame. Probably could have got him. Over here, you know, there is... red is in the zone. All they've got to do is put a CV in. I'm not sure what that was. And Ludie desperately trying to cling on to this zone. I mean, he's taken the middle zones, right? Some of this is Northern's units. And he's pushing the enemy's back zones, so he's doing a really good job. One thing he needs to do, though, is send units around here. Like, he's got this here already, but if you can get, especially like the Stinger and a couple Stingers and a couple Bradley guys with the Dragon whatever, right? And you put the Dragon guys in these buildings and you have the Bradleys here. The enemy's really going to struggle to get into the zone. Whereas instead, both players are just sort of face smacking each other, which you've always got to look for ways to outflank your enemy. I mean, it's just like real life, really. You don't get a flat damage bonus for shooting the enemy in the side, but it does do wonders because, you know, side armor, as we spoke about, which does give you a damage bonus, but also it just messes them up on a psychological level. A lot of people can't think laterally, don't know, it's something I read about, I don't know how true it is, but most people just think A, B, C, and they don't really think so good at A, green, indigo, hashtag, you know, whatever. So, people find it difficult to think across groups, as they can think within a group well, and that spreads a lot into this game. The like 99% of the player, well, I've just made that up, the vast majority of the player base just attack forwards. I do it all the time as well, and I've been playing this game for 2,000 hours, so I guess I'm stupid too. But yeah, this is a pretty good solution to this problem. If the enemy's just sat in a corner like this, you just grab him, MLRS him. I mean, it's often better to put both on one section, but it's not really a big deal. Because if you know there's infantry in there, usually they'll survive one volley, as you can see. And if they'd both been on this, it might have died. Cub went down there. I'm not sure if it was artillery or what. Yeah, it looks like it was. And yeah, back here, you know, this guy, Northern, he's just not really understanding the game. Oh wow, Blue actually took this. I'm sorry I missed it. But yeah, helicopters are out and there was no AA, so he's trying to back it up with warriors without stuff. It's a shame, he could have like diverted some of these units over there. I'm not sure if he got something. Yeah, he got a BMP-3, so he's sending the tornado. But yeah, it's difficult to fight here, so... Oh, if he gets that LGBT, that would be an absolutely huge kill. He's right-clicked near it. He's mismicroed. He's mismicroed and... Apparently it doesn't matter. Doesn't even have to click on it, just does a 90-degree turn and gets him. Cool. Well, they are Ligmas, aren't they? Yeah, the AIM-9 Ligma, that's the one they used in the Falklands. Apparently it was really good. Because they could target the enemy planes from the front, the Attendards, and the enemy planes could not target the Harriers from the front. They needed to get behind them and shoot at their engines or something like that. Basically, yeah, something to do with the targeting. Like it was just more accurate. I mean, in this game, it's just a percentage, right? So yeah, the tornado's interesting. For starters, I don't understand why it's the same price as the Su-27 when the Su-27's better. It's got more missiles. And I believe the turning circle's about the same. You know, speed and the ECM's about the same. You know, with the divs these guys are playing, I guess we won't see an Su-27. Su-17. So this is like the predecessor of the Su-22, but for some reason has the same ECM. So I don't really understand it, to tell you the truth. I mean, this is literally a piece of junk in real life, but in this it has the same ECM as like much newer, much better NATO aircraft. It is a bit strange. And yeah, if your enemy's going to sit in the corner like this, then yes, you should MLRS him. It is really strange to see. I mean, it's obviously Red is sort of trying to sort this out. They have to deal with this repeated assisted suicide attempt here, and that's going to get me demonetized. Actually, there's certain words you're not allowed to say, and that's one of them. But hey, thanks to the channel members generously generating the channel. You know, they get the names on the screen, they get the videos early. Over 2/3 of my revenue just comes from the memberships, so it's the best way to support the channel. Ad revenue is really bad, and I don't help myself through the way I speak. Basically, YouTube analyzes your whole video. It just puts it through computers are very advanced now. It can just print a transcript of your whole conversation, everything you say in the video, with pretty good accuracy. I mean, think about it. You press the subtitle button in the bottom right, and it's usually pretty accurate. And from that, it assigns, how suitable is this for advertising. You might actually get in this time, but it's just such a stupid way of doing it. I think this guy's going to have a lot of deaths. He would have been much, much, much better off, setting up here and then attacking up here with some fixing units here to shoot people in the sides, stop the reinforcements coming down this road, And if you get to here, you sort of mess up this road as well. Force them to use this road, and while attacking up here. But instead he's just sort of repeatedly hitting the enemy in the face. I don't know, it's a weird one. something about thinking laterally, right? Wouldn't it be funny if they had like before you play, they give you an IQ test. Like it says, before you're allowed to play multiplayer, you must fill out this IQ test. And then it just displays it to the right of your name, whatever your answer was. That'd actually be hilarious. Because it'd be really funny for both reasons, right? So if you were like, if you got 140 or whatever, and then you were really bad at the game, people would just give you rubbish for it constantly. Whereas you could intentionally answer all the questions wrong, right? Get an IQ of 72. And then just be like one of the best players in the game. That'd be so funny. What? If I ever make a multiplayer game, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. That'd be like a really funny April Fool's joke. So here you go. So just four grad RM70 combo. Katsuya's not really firing, but these need to move now. And yeah, I mean, this Ludie guy, I feel really sorry for him because both his teammates are sort of, you know, both his teammates need to do the IQ test, basically. But he's been playing the game of his life. Like, obviously, Northern helped him here, but he took the mid, and then he got all the way into this zone. And the only reason he's really losing here is because the enemy has been sending reinforcements, right? All of these are from Y35. Which, you know, I mean, I don't fault Red for doing this. If you want to win, you got to help your team. The team game, right? If you want 1v1, play 1v1. I see a lot of people, most people in fact, just play 1v1 like they just play team games like 1v1 with less responsibility, because when you lose your lane, you can blame your teammate. It's really depressing. But, you know, sort of human psychology there. We need those IQ tests, man. That'd be so funny. It's like an April Fool's joke. Before you're allowed to play multiplayer today, you gotta fill out the IQ test. And you gotta, and then it just shows up next to your name here, where the ping is. Just shows up. That would be funny as well. I also, I don't know, a lot of things like that would be funny. I mean, they're just basically just. I mean, it wouldn't be it would reduce the amount of flame going on. Basically, it would create a worse user experience, especially for those low IQ individuals. But no, I'd cheat on the test. I'd get I'd like answer every question wrong, and then that'd be so funny. Anyway, so yeah, this is another great MLRS spot here if the enemy's corralled into here. But yeah, I mean, you know, Northern, he's managed to get back into his zone, but he's just not thinking like a team player. He's thinking, I'd say, like a 1v1 player. But I mean, sure, he's managed this, but it's not a tenable position, right? There's people all around him. I mean, this hasn't been resupplied, but if it had, it'd be shooting this, and this isn't in position. But if it was, it'd be shooting this. You know, so a couple of these things could be up here and shooting. And, you know, if this was up to here, it'd be shooting. So this is just not a tenable position. Even anyway, like there's red units here and there's red units here, so you're already in that little semicircle. You're getting side shot and stuff, and it would have just been so much easier for him to put all these units into here, retake this zone, which then frees up his teammate. You know, team games, and then he could, you know, he can move down here, move into here, and then you could get this corner of the zone by flanking it, and then once you're in that corner, then you can sort of sort this out and attack from this way. But I don't know, people seem to have this obsession with just going forwards. It's something you got to train yourself not to do, because obviously it's like the default option in your brain is to do this. It's very, very common. I do it, right? So yeah, it's just tough, you know. It's a hard life. But you see how the volume just go. I'm looking at the volume levels. That's what I'm looking at. And the volume levels just go massively up when the MLRS fires, and then massively down. And I don't know. I don't know how good of a user experience it makes for. Obviously, you need some dying, dynamism. Dynamicism. Here we go, big air wave here, so seed out in front. Bit too far out in front, really. You'd want it right next to the Strike Eagle. Because the problem is that, you know, now the seed isn't covering it, and then you got fighters there. Anyway, looks like it's going to work. Will he stick around? He does. I mean, he could try and go for that AA position. It's kind of tough to see it under all this, but it was an Iggler there that shot him. Anyway, oh, so here come the fighters, and there's two fighters there. Yeah, they get him. They get him. The MiG-29 is a very, very cost-effective plane. I mean, there's a few of them. The thing is, it has 20% ECM, but yeah, the Su-17 has 30. That makes sense. Isn't this like a really old plane? Don't understand why it's got 30% ECM. Who knows? I would have thought the Su-22 would be the newer version, but I'm not particularly sure. The thing is, all this time, Blue has actually been on a +2 because of this. And I suppose because Northern got this part back, but I guess that's going to stop now. But yeah, I mean, imagine if they'd just taken this back, they would have been on a +2. But instead, I don't know, I'll be honest, Y-35, I mean, he spread across a lot of front. Okay, that's an interesting one to attack. I mean, you can do it. It looks like it's working, mainly because the enemy's purchases are very, very, very odd. Like, there's no close-range AT in here. 1 rifle's here. This wouldn't be happening. I suppose lots of his units are stuck over here as well, not really doing anything. Warriors without Milans. Spamming AVREs. But yeah, if Blue had taken this back, they'd be in a much better position here. But I don't know, this Ludie guy, MVP clearly. I mean, look at it. He's trying his absolute best, and he's against multiple people. I guess he just finished getting rid of all the Y-35 units, but there's like 5 grads on him. This still hasn't shot. Oh, there you go. Speak of the devil. But yeah, I don't know. Just some weird purchases here. I'm not sure how many games he's played, basically. At least he's withdrawing. That's quite rare to see, actually. So that's good news. He's actually going to try and sort this out. But yeah, this is I feel bad for my boy Ludie here. But he's got to get units into this forest here. He can't just keep smacking them in the middle. He's got to get around them. Otherwise, it's just not. Like, look, is that too loud now? I won't know until the replay happens. But what even is the sound there? It's just sort of this ambient background from the napalm. Like, it's not even a... I don't know. Anyway, the CV goes down in that. Engineers don't have close-range AT. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's a very base-heavy game, I suppose. Whereas my voice is not that deep, so I could do that thing all the other YouTubers do, where they just they put like bass boost on their microphone. I was watching this. There was this guy. He was called something like Pirate Software, and I keep getting all these slop drama videos now. I watched one of them. Anyway, there's a video of him saying that he went through second puberty at 30 and his voice got deeper. No, he didn't. He just turned up the bass on his micro. You can hear it as he's speaking. He just sounds ridiculous. People don't speak like that. It's just he's just turned up the bass on his microphone. So I could do that, and then I would have more gravitas. But I'd rather smoke a pack of cigarettes every day for 30 years and get my deep voice that way. I think that's a much more, authentic way of doing it. I don't smoke, by the way. My voice isn't deep enough to do so. So, okay, I mean, this does have ligmas on it, so it can do a bit. But yeah, there's enemy fighters coming in, it seems like. It sounded like. Here they are. Yeah, very exciting. So, yeah, I mean, now it's a +4 for red. There's only 7 minutes left, so they finally figured out that, oh yeah, actually we have a foothold here. We can just get CV in. This one obviously went down. It's just what a waste. What a waste. I feel like this has been a massive... Like, on all the dead guys as well, like, all of this could have just been in there and taken that. And then he could have swept up here and taken this. It would have been, I wouldn't say trivial, but this is just such an uphill, pointless battle for no reason. Like, literally uphill, I think, as well. No, it's just basically flat. The helicopter. The cooler AA with the gun pods. Pretty cool thing. I wish, basically, like, Helo AA is just not very good, because the enemy planes are really fast, and so the Helo has to turn. Anyway, looks like Spooky's got in here. If these guys just ran across this field... Well, I don't know, let's probably deal with them. Yeah, a bit of a weird one. Scout Lore 80 spam counter. Anyway, this Challenger Mark III could kill that if it just got to where the warrior is, which he is doing now. And +8 now for red, like, this has been sorted, this has been neutralized, this has been sorted, this has been sorted, this has been sorted, so it's just a rout across the board, but I don't know, I feel MVP Ludie, I feel really bad for him. He played a really good game there. I mean, he took those zones, and then, I don't know, his teammates just was just like, it's time to buy the arty. And they lost theirs, and then, I don't know, some really weird decisions. Like, attacking this was pretty ballsy, and it worked for a little bit. If you brought the AA and a bit of recon, it probably might work permanently. You know, you get some rifles into here, they're not sending a tank in, you know, you just pop out and shoot them. But it's always difficult to attack there, but yeah, losing this is one thing, losing this is something else, and then losing this is really weird as well. But, like, this guy lost his middle zone, okay, you're against airborne, but you don't... I mean, yeah. As for red, I think they played a pretty good game. So I'm getting quite low FPS on this map. I don't know what it is. I apologise for the poor viewer experience. I'll just talk more to cover it up. They didn't buy the arty until they'd secured their positions. Like, you can buy like one heavy howitzer at minute 5 or whatever, but they didn't get the grads out until they'd actually secured their positions. Even this guy with his T55 spam, I mean, look, it's paying... Oh, here you go. So that's 30. How much is the diversity one? Is it 35? Or is it 40? They keep changing. It was 40 at one point. I think it might be 35 now. Anyway, so it is 16 pen. But the main thing is the range. Here you go. So it's 40. So it's 10 points more? Right. Well, I'd rather have the one that's 10 points less and has an ATGM on it. In general, the non-ATGM versions of IFVs tend not to be worth it. There's two ways you can fix this. You can make the ATGM ones a bit more expensive, or you can make the non-ATGM ones a bit cheaper. So, like, the Warrior could be 10 points cheaper than the Warrior Milan, and then there might be a reason to bring it. Because, you know, once these IFV prices get high enough, it becomes a bit weird. So there you go, Surrender's coming out now. 1 minute left. I mean, yeah, there's been a breakthrough here, but my boy Ludie was robbed. Played an excellent game. His teammates let him down, and then all the enemy arty starts shooting at you, you know. It's not fantastic. It's not fantastic. It is fantastic. It's not fantastic. Yeah. I mean, they managed to take this back. It's all been taken by AI now. I assume this is about to end. The AI surrender there. So yeah, big shame. Big shame. My boy Ludie was robbed. MVP. So, yeah, Red played a pretty good game. I like the fact that they didn't buy the arty, and I like the fact that they helped their teammates out. That was very important. Anime people, no surprises. So, yeah, 278 games, 236 games. I mean, you can reset these, so we don't know for sure. 1,200 and... How? Okay. This guy only had 954, okay. 31, okay. 124. 21% win rate's pretty mad, though. That means that... Because, like, if you're playing big team games, you should be getting carried, so to have a 21% win rate is, pretty bad. And I suppose maybe these two are together and they always play together. That would explain it. No one to carry them. My boy Ludie, though, he was robbed. Look at that. Look at that KD. I don't understand how this guy had the most games in the game. He just bought T55s and F moved them. I don't know. Whatever. Do let me know what you think. I thought it was a pretty cool game. I'll see you around. GG.